Good morning. Look a little bit different today. Did something different with my hair, dressed nicer. We got the JFK Museum, and there was no way in hell I was gonna go to that without looking like absolutely pimped out. So we had to throw on the old money fit. Penny loafers, the slacks, Cuban collar, leisure shirt. Old school JFK vibes, you know what I mean? Never stop aura farming, that's my motto. And JFK was a master at it. Dude was a fucking legend. Anyways, yeah, got the JFK Museum coming up. We're gonna check into that 10:30, something like that. I'll make sure to get to the bottom of it and let you all know who killed him, because if anyone's gonna be able to figure it out, it's this guy. Anyways, after that, we're driving to Roswell, New Mexico. But yeah, that's the plan. Until then, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. On the way to the JFK Museum. I'm actually really excited. I'm a pretty big JFK fan for several reasons. Just a character, you know what I mean? If you just look at him as a institution almost, right? Just dude was aura-mogging all over the place. My one main beef with him is that he banned cigars from Cuba after buying a fucking shit ton for himself. Other than that, I mean, he had the balls to go up against Israel and question their developing a nuclear program. He had the balls to say, I want the CIA disbanded and scattered into the wind. He is truly one of our last greatest presidents. And I see why they had to kill him. The system can't have good things. They can't allow us to have good role models, good people who inspire us, who do the right thing regardless. And so they knocked him. And then framed Lee Harvey Oswald and had Jack Rubenstein shoot him, so he couldn't tell anyone. This is gonna be a fun museum trip. I'm excited. Dallas rose up in front of me almost like an old friend. It felt good to be driving through a proper western city again after all the small towns of Appalachia and whatever nonsense they call cities on the East Coast. A couple of minutes later and I was there. Alright, made it to the JFK Museum. Let's see how it is. This is for now. Apparently no recording labs. We'll see what I can do.
I'm surrounded. Bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bitch, I'm drowning. I'm with all my niggas, I don't go nowhere without them. If they don't let us in, they might throw shots at the bouncer. Activist medicine got it.
The museum starts with kind of his personal history and the context of the country at the time of his presidency. You walk almost along the timeline of Kennedy's presidential tenure itself.
But we come straight out of Highbridge. I'm gonna make her panties wet when she see the way I flex. I'm gonna win a Grammy, move my family out the projects. We went from.
It was really interesting to learn Kennedy had a special preference for motorcades, a factor that definitely led into the assassination. But it was really cool to see the receptions that he received and the opinions that people had of him at the time, both good and bad. He had a 59% approval rating at the time of his assassination, which is pretty low, so just shows you can't win them all.
Cuban ring and dipped it in a fountain. Chain so heavy, I feel like I'm holding up a mountain. Everywhere that I go, it's a light show, I'm surrounded. Bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bitch, I'm drowning.
Here is a special bulletin from Dallas, Texas. 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade today in downtown Dallas, Texas.
After a while, we enter the part of the museum that's dedicated to the actual situation of the assassination, the Warren Commission reports, evidence, witnesses, and the more conspiracy side of the story.
everything I rhyme with the chopper. They hating, I know they don't wanna see a nigga prosper. I ain't doing trims, I'm in the cut like I'm a barber. She call me daddy, but I ain't her motherfucking father.
Wrist so icy, wonder why she like me, bitch. I'm drowning in water. I just bought a cube and dipped it in a fountain. Everywhere that I go, it's a light show. I'm surrounded. Bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bitch. I'm drowning. I just bought a Cuban ring and dipped it in a fountain. Chain so heavy, I feel like I'm holding up a mountain. Everywhere that I go, it's a light show. I'm surrounded. Bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bitch. I'm drowning. Bitch, I'm drowning. Bitch, I'm drowning. I'm drowning. I'm drowning. I'm drowning.
All right, that was the museum. I got yelled at once. Well, not yelled at, but she's like, you can't record. So I was just like, oh, I'm sorry. But let's think about it logically, right? They said pictures are okay. All right, take as many pictures as you want, they specifically said. What is a video? A video is a sequence of a very, very large number of still frames played very quickly together. So I was taking a lot of pictures. That's what I was doing. Anyways, now we're gonna go check out where we was shot, go get lunch, probably have lunch on the grassy knoll, have a little picnic. See, it's a nice day. That was really interesting. That was a really, really cool museum, although it's somewhat sobering. Because I came in, I'm obviously excited, oh, I'm gonna debunk this, whatever, haha. They killed a great man. They took from the American people, someone who was trying to do good by them, for people like us. Obviously, everyone has their faults. No one is perfect, but it was a really, really sobering look. He was a very great man, in my opinion, and was taken from us, and it was really sobering to see, just get the details about that in the history. I would highly recommend coming down to the book depository if you're ever here. It was the 6th floor window, actually, right above me, one of these ones, where the shot allegedly came from. So now we're walking down. You can see the depository behind me. We're walking down to where he was shot and then over to the grassy knoll. So, yeah, you can see up there, right? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one, exactly. That window is where the shot came from. Comes all the way down over here where he was actually shot. So I'm walking now on that lawn. There was people standing on the lawn watching. The crowd is sort of dispersed by the time he was shot, but this was I guess behind him, that X right there, that's where Kennedy was assassinated. That wind's picking up, gonna start raining soon. You can see that X, that is where the first shot hits him. And then right where that car is now is where the shot that goes through his head actually connects. Pull this up. The street. Welcome to the grassy knoll. I'm looking. So number one, there is absolutely zero chance that the brain blows out the side of his face, left side, back side, if the shot comes from this direction and hits him right over that general area. Number two, I have questions about the grassy knoll itself. Again, because of the angles. When you watch the Zapruder tape, you can see the right side of his face blows up. That means a shot has to come from somewhat of this angle. You see the grassy knoll angle would put you, the best angle you could get would be like right about there. That's still a right to left angle of a shot. So the odds of it actually coming from that direction, I have questions about. If I had to hazard a guess, I would argue that the real shot came from over there. across 2 streets. But that's just me talking. This right here is where Abraham Zapruder stood, apparently with his secretary standing behind him to steady him, to film the entire event, which turned out to be the only full film we have of the entire assassination. Now, this is the angle he more or less would have had, although the tree has grown into the way. That's kind of what we're looking at, right there. That's actually, that's a surreal thing to do, to have that footage and stand in the same spot, filming the same angle. It's quite a surreal experience. However, we can see this is where the fatal shot hits. If you've ever seen the footage, you know his head explodes this way, towards us. That throws a wrench in the grassy knoll plan too. The shot came from back here. Again, wrong angle. On the way out of Dallas now, but had to make a stop. If you've ever seen the show Fast and Loud and you know who Richard Rawlings is, we're at the shop, Gas Monkey Garage. This is really excited for me because I grew up watching this show, so this is just, it fires me up. Get you some of that. All right, back on the road, heading out of Dallas. We're about 25 minutes past now. I grew up watching Fast and Loud with Richard Rawlings. That's one of my dad's favorite shows. It became one of my favorite car shows. He liked Bitch and Rides a little bit more, I think. But yeah, I stopped in. That was super sweet. Talked to the people in there. They were pretty cool. Had a nice conversation with the lady in there. I just like learning about people, man, what they're passionate about, what they know, like where they've been. It's just interesting, you know? Anyways, yep, heading out now. The JFK Museum was fantastic. What a mogger. Just, let's start there. Absolute mogger before mogging was even a fucking thing. Dude was the original clavicular before clavicular's dad was even a fucking sperm in his grandfather's nutsack, man. The point is, dude just had insane aura. That was the museum was a really cool experience. It was very sobering in a way, because I went in there like, oh, it's all gonna be about this, I'm gonna debunk it, this is cool, it's something that sad that happened, it's a memorial in a way, But it starts out by breaking down Kennedy's family history, not too much the Kennedy family itself, but just his history, what led up to him, his father, his parents, things like that, Jackie. They talk about his presidency and all the stuff he did. Now, and that's where it really hits you, because they have a video in there, a film of all the reactions to his assassination, and it's a very sobering reality, because it's like, oh yeah, he was killed, it's a conspiracy, who killed him, it's exciting. But at the same time, well, number one, the conspiracy, we know it was the U.S. government, possibly on behalf of Israel, but for sure the U.S. government was involved, which should be scary for any fucking person to realize, that if they don't want the president, they'll just take him out. You think you're worth anything to them? And then number two, it's very sobering because he did a lot of very good things for America. He's a classical liberal, he's back before liberalism became fucking retarded. And it was a very sobering realization of, this was a man, a great man historically, who was going up and fighting for the American people, for every one of us, for the young people, encouraging Americans to do better, to improve, to build a better country, encouraging the young people especially, and reaching out to them, and not just as I need this vote to win, but it really seemed as though he wanted to connect with the young people because he understood that they are the future of America. And because of that, the champion of the American people, essentially, was stolen from me and from you by government and by larger groups with more power, because they wanted to maintain their power. And it's a very sobering realization, because you realize, like, he didn't get killed. He didn't just get he didn't get assassinated. He sacrificed himself for America, in a way. Yes, he was running. Yes, he was trying to get elected for himself. But what would he have done if he was elected? He would have tried to do his campaign promises, which is, I'm trying to improve things. It was a very, very poignant museum. I would highly recommend going if you're ever in Dallas. Anyways, we're heading towards Roswell now. Got 7.5 almost hours of driving, and so we're gonna get there at 8:35. Yeah, time to lock in.
See the future, crystal ball. Mirror hanging on the wall. Who the fly white boy of the mall? Got your girlfriend screening all the calls. She bubbling, we fucking and you cuddling. Like, baby, where the fuck you been? Don't wanna tell you she in love with him. So we ain't saying nothing. You could probably tell she bluffing, cause she kissed you with the mouth. She gave me head with my concussion. Yeah, she blushing, all red. Wanna rush and go to bed. You interrogate that bitch like you the fed. So she says she in love with a rock star. Wanna smoke my weed, so she asked me where the tops are. Oh, top drawer. Oh, yeah. Honey, I need you. Just a motherfucking kiss. Oh. Make money, fuck bitches. Yeah, Pittsburgh. Hey, John. Hey, these hoes is drunk. Wanna come and smoke this blunt? Then let me take them home and do anything I want. I said, baby, I can ride ya. Just let me get inside ya. I can take you higher if you hit this vaporizer. I got that dope dick, I'll be your supplier. You grabbing on my sheets and hitting notes like you Mariah. Obsessed with me, undress a freak on ecstasy. I'm out and then she texting me like, what you doing next week?
Hear me now, I'm down on knees and praying, though my faith is weak without you, so please, baby, please give us a chance. Make amends and I will stand up to the end. 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000,000 times.
Hey, I just wanna inform y'all, I'm drunk as fuck. Most dope, bitch. Hey, yeah, what's up? I'm high as fuck, yeah. Deserve. I graduated. Oh yeah, I just graduated high school. Ha-ha. Hey, homie, don't be mad that your girl loves me. It's not my fault. I'm just doing me.
Just made it to Roswell, site of the first UFO encounter in modern American history. That was a long drive. Plan for tonight, check in a hotel, hit a workout, finish editing the video, and then I'm gonna drive out. Just these roads just are straight and flat, so I'm gonna get some gas, and probably about 9:30 I'm gonna just drive out, probably 30-45 minutes or so. Just see if I see any phenomenon, anything weird like that. That'd be pretty sweet. Worst comes to worst, there's no streetlights out here, so I just know that the stars have to be absolutely fantastic. Right. All right. So, checked into the hotel in Roswell. Got dinner. Now I am on my way to Bottomless Lakes State Park, and the goal is gonna be just drive out there a long ass way. I don't know, 30-40 minutes. Just see if we see anything.